Hello, my name is Neelima and today I'm going to be talking about the Netflix original series that has literally taken over the internet. So if you're someone who, like me, lives on the internet, then you've probably heard about this show. But if you haven't, it is a sci-fi show made by Netflix and the Duffer Brothers, and the entire world has been raving about it. Set in the 80s, it's filled with nerdy references, and basically when 12-year-old Will goes missing, his mother, Joyce, the chief Hopper, and his friends Mike, Dustin, and Lucas start investigating. And as they do, they start uncovering secrets about the sinister government agency and a certain girl with psychokinetic powers. Is it a good show? Yeah, I literally spent 8 hours binge watching it without any rest. Is it worth all the hype? Actually don't think so. I did think that the first 5 episodes were amazing, but it sort of went downhill after that. But more on that later. Trigger warnings for the show. Flashy lights. It has a lot of them from the beginning to the very end. The story kind of focuses on that. Child death, child torture, dead body, death of a wild animal, lots of blood, slugs coming out of the mouth, bro sounds from monsters, funeral, an almost forced suicide, guns, and there's supposed to be gagging, but I can't remember when that happens. Also, if you have Europhobia, there's a bit of that in episode 4. There's also a lot of homophobic slurs used. Of course, it does start off as a bit of a horror, but it is mostly a mystery, and if you can handle these potential triggers, then I would definitely urge you to watch the show. It's really great. Episode 1 was an amazing start. From the very beginning, it just completely hooks you. The way it was filmed, it was so beautiful. It had a very movie style to it, and I actually really liked that. I feel like it could have been cut down to 5 episodes instead of 8, but okay, so episode 1 started out in the fucking lab, and the scientists just got attacked by this unseen monster. 7 minutes into the show, I had to stop and I had to watch it the next day because that's how scary it was. I don't think the rest of the story was that scary. I mean, especially towards the end, I could have watched it at night. I wish there were more girls, but these nerdy 4 little boys, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I've actually never played that, but if you started drinking every time you got an 80s reference, you would probably die of alcohol poisoning. I wish there was more of Will, and I actually wish there was more of the upside down Will. When he first appeared, I actually thought that he might be my favorite character because he would just seem like such a sweetheart, but then, you know, he disappeared for the entire thing, and then I stopped caring about it. The way the alien came in, it sort of looked like it was walking, which is weird now that I think about it. Towards the end, it doesn't actually walk. This random patch just appeared on the floor and lights started blinking, and we could just see the silhouette of what looked like an alien. It was so scary. Oh my god. When Elle first appeared, I was genuinely scared of her. Like, I thought that she could be this alien who had taken the form of a kid and she was gonna murder everyone there, but like 5 minutes into that, my heart went out for her. It was so obvious that she was just like this poor tortured individual, and oh, my heart. When the woman came saying that she was from social services, I actually didn't suspect anything. I usually do. I'm usually really good at this, but I didn't at all. And then she just came in and she shot the guy, and I was like, I did not expect that. Ugh, and the poor kid, she just ran. I was so happy when the 3 kids found her. I don't think I really ship Mike and Elle. I like the idea. I usually don't ship preteens easily. It's very difficult for me. Episode 2. Oh my god. Episode 2 is my absolute favorite. I love that the show can balance the nerdiness and the horror elements and the sci-fi elements and the comedy all at once. The fact that Eleven doesn't know where to change shows a lot about her character and her past. But it's also hilarious when Dustin starts freaking out. Michael sees a tattoo on Eleven's hand and asks her what it signified, and I was immediately like, what do you think it means, dumbass? But it is kind of scary. Why 11? Is it just like a lucky number or whatever? Or were there actually 10 other girls who were in that institute with her? In that case, what happened to them? Watching 11 scenes were kind of hard for me, just because I am the type of person that goes into loops. Like, if I see a child getting tortured or whatever, I will probably think about every single child in real life who got tortured and was used for experiments, and that is not a fun loop to be in. Jonathan, I actually liked you. Well, I didn't like you, but I thought that you were a sweetheart's brother. But it's important to remember that people can be creeps, even if they're amazing to their family. Jonathan first went to his dad, who seemed like an asshole, and maybe his actions afterwards were because of his said assholery. Jonathan started going inside the woods to take pictures of his brother's last moments or whatever, and he heard a woman screaming, and the fact that he ran towards her, it showed me a good sign. Then it just turned out to be Nancy and her friends, and just turned into this complete creep, and he started taking their pictures, and like afterwards when he's called out for it, he doesn't even apologize. I'm not saying that I like Steve, okay? He was pushing way too much and he's a total fuckboy, but I don't ship Nancy and Jonathan. I don't ship anyone really in this series, but I don't especially ship Nancy and Jonathan. I didn't fall in love with Barbara as much as the rest of the world has. I did feel bad for her when she was captured, and knowing that she actually died was a bit confusing for me, because Will was captured for more than a week. So why did the monster immediately kill Barbara? Episode 3. The memes make sense! Winona, or Winona, I don't know, Ryder is amazing. My fairy lights aren't working anyway, so I'm genuinely considering buying those lights and doing that entire ABCD thing and putting my entire, like, just covering my room in fairy lights and Christmas lights. I think it's gonna be beautiful. It's around this episode that the pace started getting slow. It could have easily been cut down to 5 episodes at the most, and I think that would have worked in favor of the show. How did he blink once or twice? Because like in the end they just walked through the place and it started lighting up. So also, if he was moving around that freely, why was he just stuck inside the wall? I actually don't understand why he was stuck inside the wall at all. Upside down world. Afterwards it was basically the same as the current world. I'm also confused about the portals, because like, why do they randomly appear? And towards the end, why could the creature just like randomly disappear when, even if the portals weren't there at the time? The gateway. Elle is easily my favorite character. I feel so bad for her. Everything with Elle was done so brilliantly. Every single time Mike shouted at her, I wanted to cry. The two could be best friends, and it just really saddens me to see them fight. When Mike was about to jump off the cliff for his friends, I mean, we knew that Elle was gonna save him because she saw them, but still, I loved him for that. I kind of hated Lucas for the entire thing. I mean, I understood why he was so angry, and I was just happy that after she saved Mike, Lucas was ready to forget everything and he apologized, and they were finally the friends that they were destined to be. Until she died and will return. I'm so annoyed that she's dead. If she just collapsed, I would have understood why she had to die, but the fact that she turned into fucking butterflies like Voldemort, it just confuses me. Elle is Voldemort, guys. Elle is Voldemort. The science of this entire thing is not really explained. I don't understand how her psychic powers actually help the creature come into their world, or how the gates started opening up. I'm not sure if it's explained or not. It's just that I saw it in 8 hours and I can't remember half of the things that happened properly. That's where I think the later episodes lacked. The later episodes sort of started rehashing many of the things that we already knew. Like, they were just showing the same things from different point of views. It makes sense for them to show it because there are so many characters and they all only know half of it. But maybe they could have just shown them talking a bit more. It is so frustrating when people don't talk to each other. Joyce and Hopper know a bit of stuff, and the kids know a bit of stuff, and Nancy and Jonathan know very little, but they're the only ones who have gone into that world. At the very end, when she gave the camera to Jonathan and kissed him on the cheek, I was freaking out. It was confirmed that she was still with Steve. I just let out a sigh of relief. Of course, she doesn't seem happy with Steve, which... Them trying to murder the monster was amazing. Steve coming inside and then being a total waste was hilarious. That was the one moment where I actually appreciated the three of them as a weird love triangle. I really like that they made an entire plan and stuff without telling anyone, obviously, on like how to capture it and then burn it and shit. I think I like Hopper. I don't ship him with Joyce. I mean, my two other middle-aged ships are Abby and Kane and Broadchurch. At first he annoyed me because I assumed that he was gonna be one of those lazy policemen who don't give a shit, and I thought that Joyce was gonna do all the work, but then he did care. And he's really intelligent. He's just sad because he has nothing to do, and also because his daughter died and he doesn't have anybody to care for other than the town. I was really annoyed that he was ready to give up information on Elle. I understand that he had no other choice. After getting home, he immediately realized that the place must be bugged. It makes him seem like a smart guy. Did he and Joyce think that it would be safe to go inside Hawkins? I love the way the moss was just creeping around, but I didn't like the monster much. The form of the alien itself was so creepy. In the shadows, it was so creepy. The shadow hunter's head didn't scare me at all. In the very end, when they started spitting out the worms, I was so confused. Why is he not telling anyone? Did they, like, he knows that he can trust them. Like, why is he being such an idiot? Oh my god, I know this is a horror film sci-fi thing, but like, a girl died for you, okay? A girl that I very much love. I mean, they only killed the monster. We don't know if the gates are closed. We don't know if they actually shut it down, and they probably haven't, considering Hopper's entire deal with Hawkins. What I really want is for Elle to just recover. Maybe that's why they turned into butterflies. Maybe they are captured in the alternate dimension, or maybe she realized that she can't kill the monster but she can send it back and she has to go with it. If she can return, I will definitely watch the second season. So that's it for the video. If you liked it or agree with my opinions, give it a big old thumbs up and comment down below what you think of the show, and hit that subscribe button because I try to make videos every week. And cut.